With Atlanta being repaved and reconfigured, I feel like it's an appropriate time to go over, in my opinion, one of the most impressive things a driver has done to gain speed at a certain track. Now, everyone knows Harvick got his first win at Atlanta, but after that he was pretty bad there for a while. From the 2002 spring race to the 2007 spring race, he failed to even finish on the lead lap. He started to turn things around a little bit with the introduction of the COT, and he almost won the 2009 fall race after he led 66 laps, but he would finish second to Casey Kane. He would grab a few more top 10s here and there, but he wouldn't find the real speed at Atlanta until 2014 when he joined SHR. In his first year of SHR, he would win the pole for Atlanta and he dominated, leading 195 laps. Unfortunately, after a late race crash, he would finish 19th. But something the broadcasters noticed during the race is how Harvick had a certain feel for Atlanta that others just didn't have.
10.6 seconds behind the race leader, Kevin Harvick, who is one of those drivers we talked about at the top of our part of the broadcast, to people coming in saying this was their favorite track and so on and so on. Well, Kevin was right there at the top of that quote sheet. Talked about Atlanta being one of his very favorite racetracks and how much he loves running here. If passion for a place has anything to do with it, it's certainly showing up in laps led.
There's no doubt about that. He's just found a feel for this racetrack that a lot of others really haven't. I think they've tried a lot, but they just, they see what Kevin's doing. They have the opportunity to watch it, to be around him. But doing that and knowing the feel that he has for his race car and being able to work the pedals inside of his race car, he's just incredible.
What made Harvick so much better than everyone else at Atlanta was he was able to run the bottom line way more efficiently than everyone else. What he would do is he would place his left side tires on the yellow line, which would actually help his tire wear, and on a long run he was just unstoppable. And he also knew exactly when to get off the gas and get back on it again at the right time, and no other driver seemed to be able to mimic what he did. In 2015, Harvick again led the most laps, but would finish second to Jimmy Johnson. In 2016, the broadcast again noticed Harvick's unique driving style, and they would showcase what he was doing to save his tires. But just like 2015, Harvick would lead the most laps again, but lose the race late to Jimmy Johnson. Entering 2017, there was a couple of questions if SHR would be able to mimic the speed that they've had years prior at Atlanta, due to them switching from Chevy to Ford. This was quickly squashed when Harvick won the pole for the 2017 Atlanta race and utterly dominated from the start. Something else the other drivers in the broadcast noticed during the race is where Harvick would lift compared to the other drivers.
He may just pass that orange number 2 for second place here, Vince.
Well, Brad Keselowski's spotter, Joey Meyer, just came on the radio and he said where Harvick lifts going into 1 and where the rest of the field lifts going into 1, it's monumental. And that's where he's beating everyone, including the 2 right now.
I think it's just one of those classic get off of it early, but get back in it hard and heavy when you come up off the corner. Watch out.
Full throttle right there, upper right.
See there? I mean, he's just past the start-finish line.
Wow. He's really not using any brake.
He got back in it before he got to the middle of the corner.
I actually thought that our sound was up when I first heard that, but no, he's lifting that early. He just isn't using any brake and floating it into the corner.
Letting it coast. Coast in.
Aside from the drivers who just took tires, he's the fastest car on the racetrack.
Well, don't forget, though, he was one of the last cars to come onto pit road, so he does have a little bit fresher rubber than some of those around him.
I just thought it was amazing how sensitive he is to that car, though. They put a half a round of wedge in that car, and he recognized that right away. Did you do something to my car?
He just does whatever it takes to get to the yellow line and stay there. And he keeps the left front and left rear on that yellow line longer around the corner than anybody else and drives off the corner straight.
An in-car showed that he would lift right past the checkered flag and used little to no brake entering the corner. Me personally, I remember watching this live and just being blown away because I've never seen anybody drive a 1.5 mile like that. This race was by far the most dominant Atlanta race that Harvick has ran in his career, and it looked like he would finally break the streak and win again in Atlanta before a caution came out with 17 to go. Everyone came to pit road, and Harvick made the fatal error of speeding, which he didn't do all day, and it effectively ended his chance to win. Somehow he drove from the back of the field to finish 9th after leading 292 laps. In 2018, leading into the race, everyone was wondering if this would be the time that Harvick is finally able to capture his second win in Atlanta and end the curse. He started off the weekend good by winning the Xfinity race the day before and qualifying third for the Cup race. When the green flag finally flew, it only took Harvick 20 laps to get the lead, and just like the last 5 years, he drove away from the field. Yet again, most teams' radios were lighting up, talking about how Harvick was lifting right past the start-finish line at the entrance to the quarter-mile track, and the broadcast heard about this, and even Jeff Gordon was questioning it until they went to his in-car and found out that that's what he was actually doing.
For Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and Jimmy Johnson about Harvick.
Yeah, I mean, Harvick's not even driving. He lifts. As soon as he passes the quarter-mile track, he lifts. It's ridiculous. He's just playing with traffic.
So Harvick is lifting. Went to stall past turn 1 of the quarter-mile.
The 4 seems to be getting out of the gas at the end of the pit road.
Everybody's talking about going Harvicking. Now, the quarter mile is here in the quad oval at Atlanta. The pit road is its back stretch. There is the front stretch, and there is turn 1 of the quarter mile. So they're saying just past there is where Kevin Harvick is getting out of the gas.
Well, and even the spotters are confused on what Kevin Harvick is doing, because what we heard Earl Barber say at the end of pit road, which is probably another 100 feet further.
Yeah.
So,
I think
but he's in their head. That's the thing.
But I think the big thing is, forget about where he's letting off. Where's he getting back onto that? I think that's the key.
Yeah, and let's watch this telemetry of what Kevin Harvick does so well. So there's green. He's full throttle down the straightaway. Look out. Oh, man. He is at the quarter mile.
You seem shocked by that.
Jeff said there's no way he can be doing it.
But here's the key. It's zero brake. So he may be lifting, but he's not really slowing the car down. He's just letting it roll in there. And look at how little throttle. Gosh, that's getting out of it so early. But watch how little throttle he uses through the center. Just barely. That's quarter throttle. Now half throttle. Now he doesn't get full throttle till he's all the way on the straightaway.
But now listen to this. There's the quarter mile, and he lets off.
Unbelievable.
He's ghosting.
Unbelievable how early he's getting out of it.
When Harvick would pit midway through the race, he had an issue with his pit gun, and he lost the lead. It looked like yet again bad luck would strike Harvick, but he quickly drove through the field and got the lead back. Again, while Harvick was leading late, a caution came out and they had to pit. This time, Harvick didn't have any issues, and he would come out first. Harvick wasn't challenged, and he finally got his second win at Atlanta.
1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
What a day.
Clint Boyer making a run for second place on Brad Keselowski.
Nothing coming.
Kevin Harvick puts on a clinic and wins the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
Good job, Harv.
Hallelujah. What a relief.
With NASCAR changing the rules package for the 2019 season and taking away all the power, it pretty much took away Harvick's advantage he had there, since there was just less off-throttle time. He still did decent, and he actually won for the third time there in 2020. After mediocre finishes in 2021 and the track being repaved into a super speedway, it looks like his dominance at Atlanta has seemed to come to an end.